I think when such things come out from the legendaries of the club, that's when the fans of Man United, that clique that believes that sacking Erik ten Hag is going to be the problem, are going to understand that this is exactly what we should be doing, and we shouldn't be obviously sacking the manager. And welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Erik and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's a Monday, and hope you guys are really doing fine, and we're here to obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as the people doing as far as the Erik ten Hag spell at Man United is concerned. The Glazers and Gary Neville has gone ahead to address it well, and he has gone ahead to obviously hint on the hugest problem with the club of Man United as being the Glazers. And we're here to dissect this for the next 10 minutes, and then we'll be getting into the presser of Erik ten Hag later on. So hope you guys are really doing fine. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims Barakallahu fikum, and we're here to obviously eat that. We embrace exactly what we want the United to be like. Now, Gary Neville has come out via Sky Sports and has said the following: there is no way Man United should change Erik ten Hag this season. This idea of sacking him is an absolute nonsense. I wouldn't be in favor of that anyway. There is a lack of leadership and the structure above him. I know people say you can't blame the Glazers. Yes, you can, because it's 10 years of failure and miserable recruitment. It comes down to the fact that they've not got a sporting director, a proper head of recruitment in place. This is what we talk about, that you cannot judge Erik ten Hag if at all you've not gone ahead to give him the right tools. Every job in this world requires the right tools, but this has become a given in the game of football if at all you are to thrive and go to the next level. Having a sporting director, having a CEO who knows how to run a football club, then having a technical director. Those are the three pillars of really running a team. Then below those, there should be scouts that are really proven, that can obviously scout players and bring them to your club, especially those that will obviously come in from the academy of Manchester United. Now, one will say, why haven't you talked about, I think I talked about the CEO, not so? So the CEO is this kind of person who will obviously meet the board, like the Glazers or Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and confirm to him that I want to obviously come in through and do the needful for you. And they assign him a duty of how they want their team to be like. Then he tells them, I want a budget of such and such amount of money. Then after giving him that budget, he looks out for the appropriate manager who is going to come in through and obviously do the job. The style of play, because the board will obviously have a style of play that they want that specific manager to be playing like. So that CEO will go ahead and really look for what we call a sporting director. The sporting director will go ahead and really tell the CEO what he wants to obviously make that plan happen. After that, the sporting director will recommend a manager. The manager will come in through. Then after recommending the manager, they'll sit down with the manager and discuss the players that they are going to get. That's what Gary Neville is talking about. You need to be having a sporting director, a technical director, and a competent CEO. But at Man United, all the people in those positions are naive. That's why Richard Arnold threw in a towel and retired. And on the 1st of January, United will be having a new CEO. Then, for John Mata, who is acting as the director of football or sporting director of the club of Man United, he is really naive and he is really trying to stay here. But with Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in through, it looks like if the Glazers want John Mata to stay, then they are going to bring their own sporting director, meaning that he'll be there being paid money for no good reason, and the Glazers should obviously move him on and say, all right, you've done your job. You are the reason as to why you've been failing, because you've been recommending recruitments of players that are not going to obviously fit what the levels of Man United are, because John Mata is not that elite CEO or firebrand CEO that will negotiate a deal with Jude Bellingham to convince him to come to Man United. You know, we have not gone ahead to convince world-class players or finished article players the club of Man United because of that. Erik ten Hag wanted Darwin Núñez, and because Liverpool had a better CEO, they went ahead, a better sporting director, they went ahead and got in Darwin Núñez. Frankie de Jong, it was a matter of us having a very competent CEO to convince him to come in through. Ten Hag had gone ahead to convince him, but they failed to obviously get a negotiation out of the way as far as the amount of money that Gary Neville needs is concerned. Frankie de Jong, because Frankie de Jong had deferred wages at Barcelona that summed up to 17 million euros. I think that's 17 million pounds, you know, and United couldn't execute such a deal, you know, because of the incompetency of Richard Arnold, the former CEO of Man United, and the acting director of football, that is John Mata. That is what Gary Neville is talking about. And it's written all over the wall that the problem of Man United is not the manager. It's not that we don't have the money, because we've gone ahead to spend, I think, more than any club in the past decade, right, on transfers. Why is it that we are not moving on to the next level? It's not the manager. It's the sporting director. It's the CEO. It's the technical director, right now acting as Darren Fletcher, who is learning on the job. A club of Manchester United shouldn't be having a technical director who's learning on the job. They should be having Darren Fletcher as an assistant, and we should be having the technical director who is a senior ahead of this guy. But at Man United, it's where the impossible at teams like Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool is possible at the club of Manchester United. And people tend to obviously forget what really it means when you are really running a club in the right model. You know, look at Brighton, good club, because they're having a competent sporting director, they're having a competent owner, they're having a competent director of football, you know. That's why they're doing like that. Every team that is performing, look at Aston Villa, you know. When Unai Emery was coming in there, he set his conditions on the table. He told them, I want a sporting director, you know, I want a competent CEO and a technical director and a team of scouts. See how Aston Villa is performing. In a space of 1.5 seasons, they are placed third or fourth they are third on the Premier League table. And whereas Man United, we are sixth, I think. So let's all admit, you know, the problem of Man United is the Glazers, you know. And why are they the Glazers? Because they are the epitome of the club, and they've gone ahead to allow these incompetent people to run the club. Trust me, if the Glazers were taking out dividends and they had a competent CEO, a competent sporting director like Rangnick, then you're having a Paul Mitchell in there for you, United wouldn't have been like this, even if they would have going to be taking in dividends as they want. All they needed was to change the structure of the club. You know, get Richard Arnold out, get the chief negotiators out, get the CEO out, sporting director out, and get incompetent people. And that's exactly what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is bringing at the club of Man United. And for everyone who is calling in for the sacking of Erik ten Hag, ask yourself, was Erik ten Hag here 10 years back when Sir Alex Ferguson left? You know, why haven't we not been performing yet? For every manager, a huge budget has been provided for him in every summer, you know, and other managers have gone ahead to sign some good players in the January transfer window. The problem resonates back to the Glazers, and I'm happy that even Gary Neville has come out and obviously exposed the Glazers and has gone ahead to back Erik ten Hag, because the fact is, Ten Hag is not the problem. Jose Mourinho was not the problem, you know. But the problem is the board, because look at Erik ten Hag. No manager post the Sir Alex Ferguson era has gone ahead to put in results in his first season at the club of Manchester United, like Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to do. No manager has done it. Now, that means you want us to sack the best manager ever since Alex Ferguson came in here, and we replace him with who? It will be what we call back to square one. A vicious circle of failure is what we'll be really heading to. And at a club like Man United, you cannot obviously be in such a mess, and the Glazers are the problem. So, every manager comes in through, he brings in his own players. And Erik ten Hag is having a huge problem to deal with because he has players like Luke Shaw that were signed by Van Gaal. Martial was signed by Louis Van Gaal. You get? Then he goes to Dalot, Lindelof. Scott McTominay was brought in by Jose Mourinho. You understand? Then he has players that were brought in by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, you know. So, he's really having lots of players to deal with, the Donny van de Beeks that he never bought. So, all what you need to do is to accept what Arsenal accepted, what Liverpool accepted, and Man City. That Arsenal went ahead to accept that we are not going to win a trophy in the next 2 or 3 seasons. But if we build a juggernaut and keep performing well and get back to Europe, then in the near future we'll be there. And in the 3rd season of Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, he was just 4 points behind the Premier League winners, that is Manchester City. And this season, they're even above Manchester City by 3 points. So, it shows you that patience pains but pays when you're really having the right people above the manager. If you want Erik ten Hag to overturn this, he needs to get proper people that he's supposed to be working with. And before I really conclude this video, I would like to remind you or reminisce you about what he said, why United can't play the brand of football that was playing at Ajax. He said he had a CEO and a sporting director and a technical director at Ajax that Man United don't have. So you need to be recruiting players that are meant for that right style of play. So guys, Rokan David is my name. Tell me your thoughts about Gary Neville behind Erik ten Hag. He exposes the Glazers. What do you make about it? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. The Christians, may the living to God bless you abundantly. I'm going to return with the match, with the press conference reaction for Erik ten Hag. I'm going to pick out some 1, 2, 3 talks, and then we'll come here to obviously discuss about it. Maybe it might be a live stream with you, my people, in here onto the United Matters channel. So just keep yourself available in the next 1 hour. We are obviously going to come in through and obviously put in a shift in the presser of Erik ten Hag and what Thomas Tuchel is going to have to say about Man United as they come to play at the Old Trafford. That is tomorrow. Friday, Tuesday night football is back. Ciao, ciao.